Okay. So for this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review the questions that you did last week, the one passage over the hibernating bears and the scientists that were studying them, and then I'm going to go back into the past and kind of pick up the stuff that we looked at the week before, so that we can get you, or so that we can get you some of the questions, and using some of the strategy we've already used and using the strategy that I introduced to you. So anyway, here we go. Questions 21 and 22 are the first paired questions. This question 21 asks about the main goal of the scientists collecting this. Well, honestly, if you just watched my last video, then I told you about the tip about reading the first 10, 15 lines. And guess what? That would have really helped you right here, because at the very beginning of this passage, they outline what the main goal is and actually state it. So when looking at it, look at A, hibernation patterns. No, no, not really. Didn't compare bears and squirrels. The role of fat, I was said maybe we'll consider this one. Importance of health benefits for X. No, it really doesn't talk about that. And then D, prevent diseases. Yes, it says that. Later on, I go back and compare it to B. I feel that D is the best one because it's stated, and then because roll of fat may be something in there, but it's really not the focus of why they're doing the study. The evidence to prove this, as I read, I liked A immediately. I thought it was a good answer to that. It directly proves D, so I'm going to keep it, and then I'm going to go to B, no, D, no, or C, no, and then I'm going to come back and go, okay, everything had to be better than A. None of them are, so A is my choice. Okay. And then I look at 25 and 26, my next paired questions. Read 25. Best answer choice was D. I kept A as a maybe on my first read, and then definitely didn't. Then kicked it aside whenever I went back to D. And then I went back to evidence proving that the molecule prevents. And this one was one that none of the others talk about the molecule until D does, and so D is the best choice on both 25 and 26. Um, anyway, then let's go to the graph questions, and there are two graph questions. 27 asks, the little graph is kind of it shows a downward trend to the right. So you want to look at these. I read all the answers. Choice in 27. The question asks us about what information discussed in paragraph 10, lines 58 through 68, is represented by the graph. And then we can really go through. I went through 27. I said maybe I'll check the others. B was a possibility. C and D I killed. Then I went back to A, and A was better than B. Um, when I went back into 28, read the answer choices 28, decided that A is reflected in the graph, and then went back and just double checked, and the rest were really easily proven that they were not. They didn't exist in the graph. So best answer A, and then that's how we get to those. As I said before, if you want a little bit deeper explanation on any of this, you guys are pretty good. So I'm not going super deep on this. I'm just showing you my thinking. So, but if you need me, then my email is shenry@mckinneyisd.net, and I'll respond. You just tell me that you're in the Summer Scholars course and that you're struggling a little bit with the reading part, or tell me what's going on, and I'll see what I can do to help you if you can't get in touch with Miss Meyer. Anyway, I hope y'all are well, and do the next set, the practice set. I'll come back next week with a few more tips. Thank you.